The breaking news, the latest Republican health care plan will not even make it for a vote. Senate Republicans in the last hour decided against moving forward with the Graham-Cassidy bill. The plan would have given federal money to states so that the states could come up with their own health insurance systems. One of the bill's co-sponsors, the South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, says even though the vote is not happening this week, he's confident the plan sets the stage for eventually changing Obamacare.
The missing ingredient for us as Republicans has been, we know what we don't like. Obamacare is not working. We make that case effectively. But we've had a hard time articulating what we're for until now.
Certainly a major setback for Republicans who, for the better part of a decade, have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare. But even after Republicans took control of the White House and both chambers of Congress, they've not been able to do it. Hours before Senate Republicans called off the vote, President Trump blasted members of his own party who came out against the plan.
At some point, there will be a repeal and replace. But we'll see whether or not that point is now or will it be shortly thereafter. But we are disappointed in certain so-called Republicans.
So-called Republicans. We presume he means these. President Trump didn't name names, but these are the 4 Republican senators who said they were against the plan, killing it. Republicans could have lost just 2 votes and still passed health care. And even though the Texas Senator Ted Cruz said he was against the plan as it stood, the Maine Senator Susan Collins put the nail in the coffin yesterday when she said she would not support another one-sided health care plan.
The Democratic Party made a huge mistake in pushing through the Affordable Care Act without a single Republican vote. It is a mistake for my party to repeat that error.
The senator announced her decision right after the Congressional Budget Office reported millions of Americans would lose coverage under that bill. The nonpartisan office also estimated that the plan would cut $1 trillion from Medicaid over the next decade. Senator Collins called that devastating. And a day later, her decision ended her party's chance to push to change Obamacare. Our chief congressional correspondent, Mike Emanuel, is live on Capitol Hill. Mike, not unsurprising in any way, but certainly a wake-up.
Yeah, Shep, the reality is they did not have the votes, and the sponsors of this bill did not want to put it on the Senate floor and have another high-profile health care vote failure. Senator Lindsey Graham, as you noted, is saying it is not over yet. He says they will get back to it after they do tax reform. Majority Leader Mitch MCCONNEll talked moments ago about next steps.
We haven't given up on changing the American health care system. We are not going to be able to do that this week, but it still lies ahead of us, and we haven't given up on that. We do think it's time to turn to our twin priority, reforming the tax code. We've reached significant agreements inside the Budget Committee to go forward, and I'm optimistic that we'll achieve that.
That definitely turns up the pressure on getting tax reform done. They had 4 no votes at least on Graham-Cassidy at this point. Graham says they're going to get back to it. They're going to sell it better after they do tax reform. It's not entirely clear how they get those 4 to come around. Shep?
Regarding health care, what are you hearing from Democrats?
Well, Democrats are saying essentially they are proud that their side stuck together. From the most moderate to the most liberal members, they all opposed Graham-Cassidy. A lot of top Democrats, though, on the Hill are saying it is not over yet. They expect this fight to continue.
We Democrats believe this is not a day for celebration, but a day to roll up our sleeves and work to make the health care system better than it is today. The bottom line is very simple. The reason this bill failed is because millions of Americans didn't want it.
Democrats are now calling for a return to the bipartisan talks headed by Senator Lamar Alexander, a Republican, and Patty Murray, a senator from Washington State, a Democrat. They were working on some bipartisan fixes of Obamacare, some things they could get done to improve the lives of consumers around the country. They said they were making progress until the talks were called off about a week ago to see if Graham-Cassidy could get done before the end of the fiscal year, the end of this week.